Over the past year, the Pension Funds Adjudicator has been flooded with complaints about withdrawal benefits delays. According to the office's latest annual report, which was issued this week, withdrawal benefits remain the highest category of complaints at more than half of the 7,014 complaints received. The non-payment of retirement fund contribution still stands second place at 23.8% of the complaints. Well, to give us more on this and give us some insight, I'm joined now by the Pension Funds Adjudicator, Advocate Muvhango Lukhaimane. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time. Well, in terms of, let's just start there. When you compare this latest report to previous years, are things improving or not in how the retirement funds are being handled and the understanding by people who are wanting to withdraw their hard-earned pensions?
Thank you very much, Dan. I think that the trend has continued to remain the same in terms of the compliance rate that is shown by employers in terms of payment of contributions. However, where the members are concerned, members are still withdrawing when they leave employment, so preservation is still quite low. However, that is also a function of why members withdraw when they leave service, because usually you find that a person has been dismissed and therefore they need the money to be able to take care of their day-to-day needs. So it's really a function of need more than anything.
Okay, you say in your report the biggest part of complaints was around withdrawal benefits delays. Exactly what happened here?
Funds, when employees leave employment and they want to withdraw their benefits, people can wait for anything from 3 months to 6 months to a year, and even more than a year for their benefit to be paid out. Sometimes it might be because the employer has not completed the withdrawal claim form, which the fund or the administrator will insist on. But in most instances, it's really because the fund or the administrator are really just dilatory in the way that they do their work. A person would be asked to provide their form many times. They'll forward the form, then they'll be told something else is outstanding. Then after a few months, they are told, your bank statements that you provided us are too old, give us updated ones. So usually it's really because the funds and the administrators give members the runaround when it's time for members to get their money.
So it's not a fact that the fund itself is in trouble, it's more admin and bureaucratic delays.
Well, half of it is really admin and delays. And I think in the beginning of the pandemic, most of the funds and administrators were, to their credit, maybe adjusting to the new way of doing things with less staff being in the office. Therefore, they were automating part of their processes. However, even if you have a situation where an employer has not paid the total contributions that they are supposed to have paid, the fund is still under an obligation when it receives a request to pay out a benefit, to pay out the benefit that it is currently holding. So they cannot say because the employer has not paid contributions in full, we can't release the partial payment, which is what we find happens mostly. Yes, employers are not paying their contributions on time in certain sectors, and that is an issue that the regulator has to deal with from a compliance perspective, but it still doesn't excuse why funds don't release the monies that they are already holding.
Yeah, as part of your mandate, I know, and this report that you do every year, you also look at how funds are doing. Are there funds which have been in trouble before that are improving now, despite the pandemic?
Well, I think the funds that we have always flagged for flooding our office with complaints. Some have improved, but we are still lagging behind, really. I think this is really a matter that is at a standstill to some extent from our office, in that we cannot assist more than we have already done in terms of the access to benefits and governance issues surrounding the private security sector provident fund. We have done all we can, and it is now up to the members and the statutory manager and the regulator to see how they can improve the compliance rate in terms of contributions to that fund. We can only now just continue to deal with the complaints as they come, but we have done all we can from our perspective to try and drive the compliance rate higher than where it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're just an adjudicator, I understand. But just your thoughts. I mean,
Yes.
You are in this space. Do you think a fund like this one in the private security industry, for example, needs better, that their trustees need better training, need to understand their role, and also in how the funds that come in are invested?
Well, it's not. It's partly, yes, the issue of what the trustees can do, because I know that in the past week or so there has been a report that was released, at least indicating the lapses in the trustees from the regulator's side and what the regulator will be doing about that. But it's also a function of the kind of industry that the fund operates in. If you have a situation where government departments, parastatals, private employers don't pay for security services received, how must this employer now pay salaries and also pay contributions? So you have a situation where the employers in the industry, yes, there are some that don't comply, but you have a situation where employers in the industry are put on the back foot by people that are receiving a service and they are not paying for it. So where must they then get the funds to pay for? Because already they are having to borrow to pay salaries. Now, all these other statutory contributions, if their services are not paid for or they are not paid for on time, they are then put under stress. And this is a compulsory fund that is determined by the Minister of Labour to say each and every person must be in. Therefore, compliance need not be just driven from the regulator's side and from our office. They, from the ministry, also have to play their part to ensure that everybody understands and everybody pays for the service that they are receiving so that the employers can comply.
Okay, thank you very much. Pension Funds Adjudicator, that's Advocate Muvhango Lukhaimane, just shedding a little bit more light about their latest annual report in terms of the pension funds industry. They found that there were more complaints about withdrawal benefits delays. She's clarified what some of those factors are. Hopefully things will improve into the future. Now,